Our top focus this morning, the worrying situation in Delhi. There's no respite from coronavirus. The number of cases continuing to alarmingly rise in the national capital. Delhi recorded 6,746 new cases and 121 deaths yesterday. Amid this surge in cases, the Kejriwal government has announced that 400 more ICU beds have been made available. Testing has also seen a significant boost days after Home Minister Amit Shah held a review meet in Delhi. For the first time, RT-PCR tests exceeded the rapid antigen tests on Sunday. Now, while the situation remains rather worrisome, markets continue to be crowded. No social distancing being observed. Janta Market in Delhi's Nangloi was sealed by the district administration for a violation of COVID guidelines. As you can see on your screens, there are huge crowds. No social distancing being maintained.
बेड अभी बढ़ाकर 17,292 कर दिए थे कल तक और अभी भी लगातार बढ़ाए जा रहे हैं, लगातार बढ़ रहे हैं और लगभग 7700 बेड अभी वेकेंट है और 9,500 ऑक्यूपाइड है।
सर आईसीयू का क्या स्टेटस है इसमें? कुछ
देखिए पिछले 3-4 दिन में 400 से ऊपर आईसीयू बढ़ाए गए और अगले 2-3 दिन में आप देखना काफी नंबर और बढ़ेगा।
RT-PCR टेस्टिंग के लिए मोबाइल वैन दिल्ली की सड़कों पे केजरीवाल सरकार ने उतारी है। जब तक वैक्सीन नहीं है तो दो ही तरीके से आप इस महामारी से लड़ाई लड़ सकते हैं। पहला है टेस्ट और दूसरा है मास्क। ये दोनों चीजें बहुत अहम हैं। जांच करें ज्यादा से ज्यादा आबादी की, अगर वो संक्रमित पाए जाते हैं तो उन्हें आइसोलेट करें ताकि वायरस वहीं पे खत्म हो जाए।
The state of Maharashtra remains the worst hit state by COVID-19. Despite the rise in cases, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has said imposing a lockdown again in the state is not necessary. Instead, he requested people to stay indoors, to follow COVID norms like wearing masks and following social distancing norms. Uddhav also added that the state is at a crucial juncture, thus controlling the unnecessary movement is crucial. He further thanked citizens of Maharashtra for following norms amid festivities. Maharashtra has reported over 17,80,000 COVID cases so far, with more than 81,500 active cases and over 46,000 deaths, while Mumbai reported 1,135 new cases in the last 24 hours.
काही जण मला सुचवतात की पुन्हा एकदा रात्रीचा कर्फ्यू लावा. ठीक आहे, अजूनही माझं म्हणणं असं आहे की सगळ्या गोष्टी कायदे करून काही होत नाहीत आणि सगळ्या बाबतीत कायदे करण्याची गरज नसते. अनावश्यक ठिकाणी जाऊ नका, आवश्यक नसेल तर घराबाहेर पडू नका आणि लक्षणं दिसली तर ताबडतोबीने स्वतःवरती उपचार करून घ्या किंबहुना चाचणी जरूर करून घ्या.
Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar has made a big statement. He has said that in the next 8 to 10 days they will review the situation and think about lockdown in the state. Now, the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation has already said that the next 3 to 4 weeks in Mumbai are going to be very, very critical. So is Mumbai careful? Is Mumbai abiding by the rules of social distancing, wearing masks? I'm in the famous Dadar market. Have a look as to what is happening on ground zero. The bazaar here is flourishing. Have a look at the people who are in hundreds by the number. Social distancing has gone for a toss. Many people that I see here are not following the rules. They are not wearing masks. The BMC workers here are making fines. But the fact remains, most of the people have forgotten about this pandemic. BMC Commissioner has told India Today TV that they have again renewed the campaign, My Family, My Responsibility. He has said that Mumbai needs to be careful. The medical experts too maintain that the next couple of weeks are careful, and at least by the new year, Mumbai needs to be very, very careful. But the ground zero situation is not very good. People are not abiding by the rules and regulations. And as medical experts opine that it will not come as a surprise if another COVID wave hits Mumbai. With camera person Mahesh More, this is Pankaj Upadhyay in Mumbai, reporting for India Today.
And amid the rising COVID cases, the centre stepped in to help states in the fight against coronavirus, while Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan have resorted to a partial relock in parts of the states with a high number of cases. Here's a special report.
Delhi is witnessing its worst COVID surge. The states neighbouring the capital are not untouched. Uttar Pradesh is on alert after the lack of medical beds is forcing Delhiites to get admitted in hospitals adjoining Noida.
हमारे गौतम बुद्ध नगर में तकरीबन 70 मरीज जिन्हें वहां सुविधाएं नहीं मिल पाई और यहाँ सुविधाएं बेहतर हैं उत्तर प्रदेश के गौतम बुद्ध नगर और नोएडा में, तो वो लोग यहाँ अपना इलाज करा रहे हैं।
Amidst the surge in COVID cases, central teams were rushed to UP, Punjab and Himachal Pradesh to assist the fight against COVID. While 3 other states have been resorted to mini lockdowns. Rajasthan has imposed night curfew in 8 districts between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. Madhya Pradesh government has placed 5 cities, Bhopal, Indore, Gwalior, Ratlam and Vidisha under a night curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
The government of Madhya Pradesh has now declared night curfew in 5 cities including Bhopal, Indore, Gwalior, Vidisha and Ratlam. The curfew starts tonight at 10 p.m. and lasts till 6 a.m. in the morning. So the curfew has been put in place even as the government is saying that economic activity is being allowed. Inter-district movement of labour is not being prohibited. Similarly, vehicular traffic is not being prohibited.
Gujarat has also imposed stricter norms in the regions with highest number of COVID cases.
અમદાવાદમાં તો કર્ફ્યુ હતો જ. આજે રાત્રે પણ 3 શહેરોમાં કર્ફ્યુનો અમલ થશે અને આવતીકાલથી 4 શહેરોમાં માત્ર રાત્રિ કર્ફ્યુનો અમલ થવાનો છે.
In Ahmedabad, there is continued high spike in COVID cases. This is due to relaxation of safety protocols. Right now, I am present at Ahmedabad Wall City area where you can see that police is continuously keeping red eye on people.
Can states flatten the latest COVID curve without paying a high toll of lives? Bureau Report, India Today.
Here's some hopeful news to start off your week. The world might just get its first coronavirus vaccine in December. The US Food and Drug Administration's advisory committee is all set to meet on December 10th. The advisory committee will hold discussions over America's Pfizer and Germany's BioNTech's request for an emergency authorization of the joint vaccine candidate. This as both the partners recently announced that the vaccine appears 95% effective at preventing mild to severe COVID-19 infection. Dr. Monsef Salve, head of the operation, says that they have plans ready to ship the vaccine within 24 hours of expected FDA approval and that the vaccinations would likely begin on the second day itself after approval. Moving on to news from Karnataka, and what comes as a big development in the IMA Ponzi scam. The Central Bureau of Investigation has arrested former Karnataka Minister Roshan Beg in the multi-crore scam case and sent him to 14 days of judicial custody for further questioning. Beg's arrest comes as the first political arrest in the 4,000 crore rupees scam, which involved duping of over 30,000 investors, mostly comprising of middle-class Muslims, and offers of lucrative returns. Beg has been accused of aiding the founder of IMA scheme, Mohammad Mansoor Khan, in fleeing the country when the scam broke out. Now, Beg also allegedly borrowed 400 crore rupees from the firm, which he failed to return. So far, around 25 people have been arrested in connection with the scam, including Mohammad Mansoor Khan, who is the kingpin. After the arrest of Roshan Beg by the CBI, I beg your pardon, Nabila Jamal spoke with Supreme Court lawyer KV Dhananjay about the scam.
An unknown individual, this Mansoor Khan, this fraudster was. How was he able to entice almost 15,000 families to sink their life savings in his Ponzi schemes and in his bogus companies? That was made possible by different enablers, and Mr. Roshan Beg was one of the foremost enablers. He was a several-time MLA of Shivajinagar area. He was almost all the time being seen with this fraudster, and that lent credibility to this fraudster. And as you are more than aware, when the scam broke out, a lot of investors were saying that they personally knew nothing about this monster, Mansoor Khan, but then they were assumed that he must be a credible man because he was being seen around with so many different people, primarily Mr. Roshan Beg.
Roshan Beg has been sent to 14-day judicial custody after several hours of the CBI interrogation there. What does it really mean? Have they found something substantial? Is that what it actually represents here?
Well, the fact, well, it looks like the CBI may not have asked for police interrogation because it appears on the face of it that they have uncovered something, and that they also feel that it is not safe to let out this man back into the open, because in that event, considering that he is very influential and powerful, might in fact do something that might impede the investigation, or do something with respect to material or other witnesses. So it looks like the court has assumed that it is important in the interest of investigation, which is still ongoing, that this man must be within the custody of the court.
Roshan Beg quit from the Congress party. He tried to join the BJP, but yet it seems like the CBI has gone hard on Roshan Beg just to see if he has any involvement in this IMA scam case. And what does that really show off here, that the BJP government in Karnataka is really leaving politics aside and ensuring that the innocent there get justice, whether the money comes back or not? This is an example set.
Well, fact of the matter is, any other investigating authority in this country would have, in fact, have gone hard against Mr. Roshan Beg at the very inception. That did not happen for a year and a half. So what is a factor that protected Mr. Roshan Beg? Many would say that he was actually trying to join the BJP and he quit the Congress party might have been a big factor. Now, we don't really know at this, it's only speculation that we could go about. So something protected him for a year and a half, and that is no longer protecting him. Guilt by association is not just some fringe principle. It
Absolutely.
In fact is a very valid
Mr.
principle.
A question that, all-important question that investors, depositors, they are keen on wanting to know, will the money come back? First of all, a 3,000-odd crore scam that this was, where is the money gone? If the CBI is actually investigating into it, have they actually found out where this money is actually gone into? Where are the properties that he's invested in? Is there a possibility of these depositors getting their money back?
Statistically, I think people haven't seen money come back to them in the last 17 years. It's not like money used to come back earlier. It's just that these 17 years were the only ones that were tracked by reputed agencies, and they found out nobody ever got their money back.
Right.
So in light of that fact, it would be almost irresponsible for anybody to put hope into these destitute families. It doesn't matter whether somebody cheated 40,000 families or 4 families. I think the max punishment they could be staring at here is 10 years in jail.
And ahead of civic polls, the city of Hyderabad is turning into a political battlefield. The two-front war between the BJP and TRS is intensifying in Hyderabad.
Hyderabad turning into a heated political battlefield. Ruling TRS and ally AIMIM is locked in a heated war with BJP ahead of the civic polls. The recent Dubaka by-poll and a good show in the 2019 Lok Sabha polls has given the BJP in Telangana a much-needed shot in the arm. Now, the battle has intensified ahead of the Hyderabad civic polls. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar launched an attack on TRS Chief K. Chandrasekhar Rao.
हैदराबाद में सवाल ये है कि क्या एमआईएम का मेयर चाहिए या बीजेपी का मेयर चाहिए? इस सवाल पे चुनाव हो रहा है, क्योंकि केसीआर को वोट माने एमआईएम को वोट और एमआईएम को वोट माने डिवीजन को वोट.
AIMIM took no stone unturned and hit back at the BJP.
इतना बड़ा सैलाब आया हैदराबाद में, बहुत से मुकामात पानी में डूब चुके थे, आपने टीवी पर दिखाया. भाई, आपने हैदराबाद को, जीएचएमसी को, मोदी सरकार ने क्या फाइनेंशियल हेल्प की? तो जाहिर है हेल्प नहीं करने की बुनियाद पर, कोई मदद नहीं देने की बुनियाद पर अब इसको एक कम्युनल रंग देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
But the BJP is going all out in Hyderabad, deploying heavyweights and stars-turned netas in its arsenal, including Smriti Irani, Devendra Fadnavis, Saina Nehwal, Gautam Gambhir and Khushbu Sundar. BJP has been aiming at breaching the southern frontier after grabbing power in Karnataka and making inroads in Andhra Pradesh. Will the upcoming Hyderabad civic polls turn out to be a watershed moment for BJP in Telangana?
BJP has sent all its top leaders on ground to campaign for a municipal election, and that has made GHMC elections quite interesting. Saffron Party is not only targeting Pink Party, TRS, but also targeting Asaduddin Owaisi's MIM, which is known for its stronghold in Hyderabad. With camera person Damodar, Ashish in Hyderabad for India Today.
In a big plot to push terrorists by Pakistan, security forces on Sunday evening detected a 150-meter-long tunnel. This is near the international border in Jammu and Kashmir's Samba sector. BSF stated that the 20-foot tunnel could have been used by the 4 Jaish terrorists to cross the border and infiltrate into Jammu on the intervening night of Thursday last week. After being detected, they were eliminated by our forces at the Bund Toll Plaza in Jammu's Nagrota. The tunnel had steps built inside, and the BSF, which inspected the tunnel, also found sandbags with markings of the Karachi-based factory. Meanwhile, the driver of the truck in which the Jaish terrorists were hiding is still at large. Security forces are on high alert as it is feared that Pakistan may try to push more terrorists. This is before the District Development Council polls in Jammu and Kashmir. Security forces have now asked for full body truck scanners at checkpoints in the valley.
जो एविडेंस के पीसेस को जोड़ के हमें यहाँ तक का रास्ता पता चला, वे पॉइंट्स पता चले जिसको इस्तेमाल करके उन्होंने हाईवे तक वो पहुँचे थे। तकरीबन 8:30 से 9 बजे रात को 18 तारीख के इनकी इस जगह से इन्फिल्ट्रेशन हुई है। ये इस टनल का इस्तेमाल किया गया है और 5 से 6 घंटे का वक्त इन्होंने लगाया है हाईवे तक पहुँचने में, और उसके बाद वो वहाँ से आगे निकले हैं। 2-2.5 घंटे बाद वो बंड टोल प्लाजा तक पहुँचे हैं जहाँ पे इनकाउंटर हुआ है। तफ्तीश इसमें जारी है और भी कई किस्म की टेक्निकल एविडेंसेस वगैरह आई हैं।
Yeah, after the elimination of 4 terrorists of Jaish-e-Mohammed who were lost from Pakistan on 19th, who were killed in an encounter at the Nagrota Bund Toll Plaza, we had lots and lots of evidence to suggest that infiltration had taken place from Pakistan side from Samba sector. When the gadgetry that they had and other evidence on their bodies, which was analyzed by police along with intelligence, that indicated a particular place and a route that could have been taken by the terrorists, on the basis of which BSF started searching the area. And within 3 days of the operation, BSF has been able to locate the tunnel. The tunnel is opposite Chakpura post of Pakistan and opens into Indian territory. It's a 150-meter long tunnel and 15 to 20 feet down below the surface. It has got a big cavity inside, and the covering had cement bags made in Pakistan, Karachi, and a wooden slink kind of coverage on the opening of the mouth. It appears that the terrorist, after the launch, was when they crossed over, somebody must have accompanied them, and they covered it again with a wooden plank and the cement bags. After lots and lots of thorough search, BSF is able to locate it. This exposes Pakistan further that they are the ones who are involved in sending these terrorists.
A Mumbai court will hear the bail plea of comedian Bharti Singh and her husband Harsh Limbachia in the drug case today. The hearing comes a day after the couple was sent to judicial custody till December 4th. Bharti is lodged in the Kalyan jail, whereas Harsh has been sent to the Taloja jail in Navi Mumbai. Remember that the couple was arrested on Saturday on charges of consumption of drugs after 86.5 grams of ganja was recovered from their residence and production house.
Queen of comedy Bharti Singh and her husband Harsh Limbachia sent to judicial custody till December 4 in Bollywood drug probe case.
हाँ, दोनों को भी जुडिशियल कस्टडी हो गई है 4 तारीख तक। दोनों की जुडिशियल कस्टडी हो गया, दोनों ने बेल एप्लीकेशन डाला है, बेल एप्लीकेशन कल रखा है। भारती को तो कल्याण जेल जाएंगे और हर्ष अभी तलोजा जेल।
The two were arrested on charges of consumption of drugs after 86.5 grams of weed was recovered from their residence in NCB raids on Saturday. But the Narcotics Bureau is probing the narco financing angle.
The sections which have been invoked deal with consumption and attract imprisonment of at least 6 months. But importantly, the agency here, Narcotics Control Bureau, says they are not satisfied with the questioning of Harsh Limbachia, and they say financial angle is still being probed.
According to the Anti-Narcotics Agency, both Bharti and Harsh have confessed to consuming weed during their questioning.
Their lawyers have applied for bail. The bail hearing will soon take place. The NCB will have to file a reply on the bail application of Bharti and her husband Harsh. The NCB had asked for custody of Harsh on the grounds that they wanted to investigate this drug nexus further and the finances angle further.
NCB sleuths also grilled Bharti's domestic help in order to identify the source of banned substance. 2 drug peddlers who were recently apprehended from western suburbs of Mumbai were sent to police custody by the Mumbai court. The ruling NCP meanwhile targeted the Narcotics Bureau for arresting drug users and allegedly going soft on traffickers.
The way NCP has been arresting the people who consume the drug, they are addicts. They have to send to the rehabilitation centers, not in jail. The NCP responsibility is there to crack down the drug traffickers, where the drugs are grown, where they produce.
The crackdown on Bharti and her husband comes following NCB probe to unearth drug nexus in the entertainment industry after death of Sushant Singh Rajput. Several high-profile names, including Bollywood A-listers, have been questioned by the NCB. With Pankaj Upadhyay and Mustafa Sheikh in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.